actually showed that homes that do have solar actually increase in value in terms of resale. And so, you know, it's actually something that's viewed as positive.
Yeah, the Lawrence Berkeley Labs did a research study. I'm assuming
Wells Fargo did a study too.
And yeah, there are multiple studies. There's a tool that is being marketed by Sandia National Labs. You can basically put in the details of your solar system, and it's providing what value you should be getting when you're going to sell your house. And they're starting to market to appraisers, and that's being taken into consideration.
The Wells Fargo one showed that, you know, just an illustration, a $50,000 solar system. But it's not going to cost you $50,000. It's going to end up costing you about $18,000. Will increase the value of your house by 50. So double what you actually put up or more. That's in California, so they're 20 years ahead of us. So you have to wait.
Peter, that's for a new system, though, right? What if the system's 20 years old? Those numbers still hold?
Well, a 20-year-old system is going to be saving you theoretically more money than it saved you when you first got it. So in effect, it's an appreciating asset. But I don't think anyone's calculated, you know, a capture value at the end of 20 years.
Yeah, I think some of these calculations are based on a 7-year turnaround.
I know, but your house now has a system that its useful life is near its end. So when you talk about the calculation and depreciation, you have to think about which part in time you're talking about.
I understand. How about one more question or so?
Thanks. It sounds like the leasing and PPA model is heavily dependent on the investment tax credit, the cash grant, a lot of which has been safe harbored forward into this year. Bonus depreciation, which is expiring, I think, completely at the end of this year, and an investment tax credit that goes away or drops to 10% at the end of 2016. And I guess all that stuff could go away even quicker if a certain party wins in enough places in November. Is that true? Is the leasing and PPA viability completely dependent on these temporary financial conditions?
And Felix might have some comments too, but from my perspective, the financing is a part of solar service, and it's a part of the overall value proposition for the customer. We can certainly anticipate a time where the financing of solar isn't entirely wrapped into tax equity, or I shouldn't say entirely, but doesn't rely heavily on tax equity. And I think over the next few years, we'll see that the industry is going to need to continue to drive down those soft costs we're talking about. And there's certainly plenty of room there to more than make up for the difference in the current tax policy.
Hold on one second. You know, that it's going to affect it, but you know, there's a gentleman named Amory Lovins who's a very knowledgeable guy in the energy industry, and they had their 25th anniversary of his research. He has a think and do tank, so they just don't think, they actually perform. And he's a very quick guy. I know him, and he's like, his questions and answers are quick. And they asked him at the 25th anniversary, if you had one wish, what would it be? And it took him about 15 seconds. And he said, eliminate all subsidies, period. So that's ridiculous, that graph. That's the problem right there. All the ones on the left are embedded in the tax code, and all the solar ones are time limited. So it creates uncertainty, and the number one thing investors dislike is uncertainty.
And that would definitely make sense if all forms of energy,
Everything.
all forms of energy were
Level playing field.
Leveled and perhaps even, you know, assessed for their environmental attributes and with regard to the entire thing.
Yeah, the Germans use all the costs, including the external.
But to respond to that gentleman's question, you know, we're not at grid parity yet, even with the ITC being in place. And that's why we still need subsidies in states where the solar installation is not getting us to grid parity. So I think that we are going to continue all other things, you know, coal and gas-fired plants not leaving those out of the discussion. We will need to continue to rely on the ITC and the tax code, unless it's changed and simplified and allows a broader participation in the market. We're going to be challenged to be able to expand the market without those subsidies. And hopefully they will get simpler to enable some of these structures like MLPs and REITs to become possible.
Randolph, you want to one last comment?
I think Jeff's question is a very reasonable one. I would just give a real world example. Unsubsidized PV electricity in New York might be a 15, 16, or 17 cent proposition. Certain unnamed large national entities that are not represented on the panel right now, who are able to carry forward 1603 by virtue of massive pre-purchases of long lists of module serial numbers. In my own real world experience, we're able in recent months to offer 8.6 cents in year one with a 3.9 escalator. And 3.9 is not a scary escalator when we add currency inflation to electricity price escalation. So the bottom line is it'll still be possible on the expiry of these policies to have PPAs and leases. They will not benefit from the leverage that these PPA providers now enjoy. And the real question, the reason I stuck my hand up, is even these measures have only been pump primers because of the long asset value of solar generation. What we need is massive additional funding based upon the reliable generation of electricity over time and get beyond the pump primers.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. We're going to break for 15 minutes and then be back in here for the next panel.